Welcome back, everybody, to Dan Has Fun with me, Daniel. More Advance Wars 2, Black Hole Rising. Happy Wednesday. I think I said Advance Wars Black Hole Rising. It's rising, I promise. This is a funny mission. Anybody that knows anything about this game will probably know about this mission. We're going to skip the text. What a surprise. 2-week test, mission 23. Hello, is anybody home? Looks deserted, guess I'll just capture everything. I'm going to skip the rest of the text because it's just Colin acting tentative and Lash kind of bullying him, frankly. This mission's hilarious. 14 days on the clock. Just don't lose your headquarters and you win the map. Because Lash starts with all of this. However, I'm going to show you until the last day kind of something very, very funny about this map. And I'm sure a lot of people have seen this before. But I want to show you what happens. So, we're going to end turn and do nothing. And you're going to see that a lot. We're going to do nothing. She's going to spend a minute thinking about moving, the transport copters in. We're going to continue to do nothing. Guess what we're going to do this turn? You better believe it. It's nothing. So we're about a third of the way through the timer here. We're getting there. Quarter of the way, third of the way through. We're still doing nothing. And the AI is, preparing its fleet of doom for us. It's got medium tanks, anti-air, battle copters, a load of infantry units. We're still doing nothing. And it's a very slow wave of units kind of gently ambling its way towards us. There's a Neo tank. We should be pretty scared. About halfway through now. We're still not doing anything. Still gonna do nothing. Today's the 8th day. We're halfway. We've tried really hard so far. There's a bomber. That's pretty scary. Still doing nothing. Continue doing nothing. You're starting to see what happens here. So, we've got 4 days left. Still nothing. Alright. So we've got 3 days left. We're going to build something. No, we're going to do nothing. So, I'm actually not going to do nothing on this turn, because we're going to be quitting out in a minute. Have you noticed what's happened? The AI has plonked a rocket on top of the headquarters. This will never move. So we can't lose. It's a thing that happens. So I could totally just do nothing for 2 more turns. We win the mission. We get an absolute shocker of a score, obviously. But we would be able to complete the mission. We're not going to do that, but I wanted to show it because it's hilarious. Just for context, 26 units. We have rockets, battlecopters, plural, bomber, several indirects. Another bomber being, just being built. Neo tanks. None of it matters. Let's yield so we can actually do this map properly. Yeah, didn't fail, but okay. So yes, you can do this mission by doing absolutely nothing. Completely nothing. We're going to play it properly, though. Like the way it was intended. but I just thought I'd point it out. It is very funny. I don't think it's always the rocket necessarily that ends up on the headquarters, but there's always some unit that beats the infantry there. It is interesting, though, that she builds rockets, because the only road on this map is right outside her own headquarters, and right outside mine. All of this is plain and forest, which, as we saw last episode with Grit, rockets don't move very well through, so the fact that she went out of her way to get a rocket on the headquarters is hilarious. So we're just going to build 2 infantry. Not much else we can really do, honestly. We're going to take that 1 city, and then we're going to get 2 more infantry. I wish there was a way of speeding this up without just me hitting spacebar and destroying your eardrums with the sped up sound, but there isn't, so we're just going to deal. Really, the question is, if you want to do this properly, do you want to go for this city or not? That's really the only question, because there's no point going for these, really. In an ideal world, what you want to have happen is for the AI's infantry to get log-jammed around you. They don't do enough damage to make anything happen. And then you just get a couple of indirects to protect yourself. That's pretty much what we're going to be doing. So at this point, we're going to actually not build anything for a turn or 2. Intentionally, not to cheat. There we go. Oh, do not click wait. Thank you. And I guess... Well, I don't usually even bother going down here, but at this point we might as well, because they can't get to us next turn anyway, so we'll just move our infantry down here next turn. So that's fine. In terms of things next to do... We're just going to grab a couple of artillery. They haven't built any battle copters yet. I think they do it this turn. Yep, there's a battle copter. So we'll be getting a missile, but we're not worrying about it yet. There we go. The one advantage of going down here is this is good distraction. So the tanks will come this way instead of straight after you, so it gives you a little more time to set up. But realistically, we're about as set up as we're going to get. We don't really even have to prioritize the missiles straight away, so we're just not going to. Really, the question on this map is a mech worth it? It costs three times more than the infantry. It will die just as quickly on the defense, but it will recoil back, especially against the tanks. You know, the tanks, the anti-airs, things like that. Is it worth it? It depends how you look at it. I'm going to tell you now, the score on this isn't going to be isn't going to be very good. Try not to get hiccups on the phone. On the video. I work on a phone, so I'm used to saying on the phone. Doesn't really matter what the score is. We're not playing for perfect 300s across the board. They're just a pleasant surprise when they happen. It's not a happy little accident. It's not quite Bob Ross territory. It's just fun when it does happen. Anyway, that's captured. And really all we're going to do at this point is just kind of sit around. Honestly, it's pretty tempting just to move this infantry down here and distract them for a turn. That moves the anti-air away. I don't usually do that, it's just pretty much a sacrificial play, but see you later. Bye. It'll be fine. Then we can put a missile over here. I wish this was a forest, but it probably isn't intentionally, let's be honest. The only thing that's kind of sucky is if you put your artillery here, they can get struck by this battlecopter, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter all that much. We're going to leave that there this turn. I don't want him to move his anti-air here, because I can't hit it. So unless I want to move it there instead. No, I'm not even going to. Don't need to do that. So it's going to be an artillery. Do we want artillery or do we want a rocket? I'm going to get a singular rocket. They're pretty expensive even with Colin. They're still 12,000 a pop. But I think one is no harm. Yay, the anti-air is going after it. Shame it killed me because Lash is 30% bonus, but what can you do? Oh, sorry, 20% bonus in this game. It's 30 in the most recent because forests get buffed. I also noticed we don't have visuals on. Let's fix that. There we go. You missed one infantry getting absolutely wrecked, but that's about it. Battlecopter came down this way, which is interesting. So I guess we will do that then. It's going to hit one of my artillery. It's inevitable. But I don't really care which one it is because it's going to die either way. Move that over here. It can't reach my base this turn, which is perfect. We are going to get one singular anti-air just so it can, in case that battlecopter keeps buzzing around, we've got something. And then, for now, let's do that. Just going to hide that there for a turn. Like that. And then that way the battlecopter's going to come in. Yeah, the missile can't hit it, but the anti-air will. And we'll be fine. We're just going to get a few more infantry. This is how you're meant to play it. It's a lot slower, but this doesn't at least feel like you're cheating. Oh, well, that's convenient. He put his battlecopter in a place that missile can hit him anyway. AI, guys. And this should not be a one-shot, because she doesn't have the defensive terrain to turn into an offensive attack. Oh, they conveniently block their own rocket in. That's nice of them. There's the bomber, by the way. Well, over halfway. We've barely had to do anything. Even a Colin missile can one-shot battlecopters. Remember, no defense when you're in the sky. Our rocket can't hit the tank, so it's going to hit the anti-air. Does enough damage to make it not, you know, not capable of doing anything. We're clearly going to shoot the tank, so it's in the exact same boat. If you can get a unit into heal mode, it will never get back in time to do anything to you. Having said that, I still don't really want a 4 hit point anti. The 4 hit point anti-air is way more dangerous than the 5 hit point tank, as it happens. Because the anti-air will shred my infantry, whereas the tank will do significant damage, don't get me wrong, but it's not actually as much damage. And rather conveniently, we can join these up, because a joined unit does not count as a destroyed unit. So that's why we're going to do that. Hide that. Get this down here in case it needs to be joined next turn. This anti-air is just going to hang out. An anti-air doesn't do particularly brilliantly against a bomber when it's a Colin anti-air, but it still does enough to make the trade very much worth it from a gold perspective. But this isn't a map that's actually going to hugely matter from a gold perspective. But it is very much a map where we're going to spam our little power again. Colin's little power is just so good. Just very, very good. We go for another rocket, another infantry, so we have that to join other units together with. And then we'll probably end up getting our little power next turn, I would say. Yeah, there's that tank. It's just going to sit around until I chip enough hit points off it that it'll go into repair mode. But remember, I want to have a weak unit sat there. That hurt. And the rocket still isn't in range of anything that I have. Eventually, actually this might not be a bad turn for it. Eventually I want to get a rocket Actually, I'm going to wait for this bomber first. Once the bomber's gone, getting a rocket over here can be very helpful, because then this rocket can't just sit on me, because eventually what's going to happen, it's going to probably sit here, and it's just going to keep firing away at me over and over and over again. And that's not going to be very fun. Man, Colin artillery suck against medium tanks. They're even worse against neo tanks. Not by a lot, actually. Neo tanks, despite costing so much more money, barely have better defense. It's weird. Weird how it goes. We are going to use our little power. It doesn't actually give us a huge amount of gold in the grand scheme of things, but it gives us 10% better defense, remember. So, join them together. Probably should have done it first, technically, for efficiency, but eh. If I can start hitting their infantry, it'll slow down their capturing as well, which will take up more space, which means less of them will come after me. I don't really care about either of those units being there, though, so instead, we're going to leave them alone. I'm going to start attacking this infantry. It's also worth sometimes thinking about getting an APC on this map. It's just not very helpful defensively, as you can imagine. If I put a rocket here, it is safe. Okay. So this guy can actually go back. This guy can go here. I want to definitely make sure that this bomber doesn't actually get so close to me that I can't hit it. So I'm going to move this all the way back and out of the way. I'm going to take this infantry over there to shield it in case they decide to go homing in on it. I'm going to put my anti-air over there so it cannot get first struck. And then beyond that, we are going to go for probably... Do I want to go for a second missile? No, I'm not going to. I want to, but I'm not going to. It's also funny, you can actually get a Neo tank and just park it right here. But if you do that, you have to make sure the rocket itself is gone, otherwise the Neo tank just gets shipped away. The old pot shotties. But it's not a bad tactic, because every terrain around this city is 1-star terrain. So you actually don't get chipped away that badly. We're not going to do that, because it feels not like... It feels like the thing that Colin wouldn't do. Let's put it that way. I don't feel like Colin would do that. But it is something that can happen. Honestly, I'm just going to get another infantry and a rocket. We're pretending we're grit for a day, is really what's going on here. Yeah. The bomber doesn't want to come after me because of the missile, so it kind of farts around for a day or two, and then will come in and attack me next turn, probably. That's going to do negligible damage. I actually took a hit point off it. I'm amazed. Just doing exactly that 1% to tick the threshold over. I was hoping the AI would use its little power, but it didn't. Oh well. So, the rocket is now in place where we have a problem, because it's going to start firing away at my unit on this city. Obviously not a good thing. We have to move this rocket back. It's inevitable. We're going to have to put an infantry in there to flood the gap. In terms of our next maneuver, we're going to want to move this guy actually out of the way completely. And the way I'm going to do this is I want to chip a hit point off you and then try and join these units together. Perfect. Because I want to do that. Move this guy across. It actually doesn't matter if I attack him, so I'm just not going to. I'm going to get attacked by this rocket almost invariably, so it's going to hurt. I'm just hoping that it can just about hang on at this point, so that I don't then have a Neo tank come and hit my rocket straight in the face. That's the hope. We will see what happens. Meanwhile, we have to make sure our other indirects are fully protected. I'm not worried about this being covered because the bomber came down here for some reason. But everything else needs protecting. I'm not going to move this, though. We're going to shoot that infantry. So again, it wasted another turn trying to capture that city. That's going to make it harder for these units to get in and get involved. We are going to slowly start moving a unit over here in case we have to sit a unit on this mountain. But we're going to hope we don't need to. Beyond that, we do want to move this unit in. Because if the bomber sits here, I can hit it. If it sits here, I can't hit it. But the bomber can now hit me on that base. So no matter what I build, it can potentially get hit back. As a result, we're going to build the cheapest thing we can get. We're going to build just a regular infantry. Have it absorb the hit, and then repel back. It's also convenient because we get to finally take a shot at this Neo tank. If we can do just chip damage to all of her big units, this mission becomes a heck of a lot easier. It's even tempting at this point to even put a hit on that, but I really don't want to yet. Because if I take this out with the artillery, I'd have to put my anti-air here. It's actually... It's not the dumbest idea. The problem would be is that the bomber could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hit me, knock me out probably in one shot, even before the rocket gets involved, and then all hell's going to break loose. So I'm not going to do that this turn. Next turn maybe, but not this turn. This is actually the one turn where building a Neo tank, if I could have afforded it, would actually have been potentially quite useful, but what I really wish we had on this map was an airport, because then we could just get battlecopters and just kind of annoy everything, harass it all the way through, take out the odd anti-air that she pumps out, that's about it. But they probably thought about that. So we're going to do what we do. We're going to channel in a grit, get another artillery, another rocket, and another infantry. So here's the attack. This'll live. That'll probably live. Yep. All 1 hit point. Here's where this gets tricky. Can this live? Probably not, so we're going to take 1 hit on our rocket. Conveniently, though, we have chip damaged everything. So even this 6 hit point Neo tank with a 20% attack bonus, it's gonna hurt, but the unit can hold firm and have enough hit points to be useful afterwards. Whereas this medium tank has decided it doesn't want to go into repair mode, it's just gonna keep chipping away and not do anything, effectively. So, okay, you do you. Eating our gold by repairing that hurts, but what can you do? We can't quite kill this in 1 hit, because, hooray, we're Colin. But this bomber's now negligible. We can just take it out with the anti-air if we really want to. We are going to use our little power because she's probably going to use her superpower next turn. So I want the defense bonus. And what we really need to do now is get this Neo tank out of our territory. See you later, bomber. There we go. This Neo tank is pretty much going to be killed by now and any indirect at that point, so that's fine. Let's use this one just because we can. Beautiful. This unit can't hear anything. This guy can, but I'm wondering if we want to move it or not. We are finally going to take this tank out. This is the turn where we're trying to get some of our power points. The score's not hugely important to me, but I'm not going to actively play badly to avoid it. We do want to hit this anti-air, because again it's going to shred through our infantry front wall. And then we want to... It's tempting, actually, to take this infantry out. It does mean in return we're definitely going to get killed by that rocket next turn. between it and the battle copter, we would be toast. But I'm tempted to do it, if only because, if I do so, again, power score, but also it means they have to start capturing it again, and the AI will definitely prioritize capturing it. I wish we could reach that rocket, but we can't quite do it. So again, we're just going to chip away at another unit, do some damage to this tank. Didn't get a good roll on that, but that's okay. We're actually even going to go and offensively attack this infantry while we can. It does mean that this guy might just die immediately from that rocket, but it's still worth doing. We're just not going to attack. Join that together. Move that over here. Get the rocket over here. This is going pretty well, even compared to how I usually think this mission goes. It's just this guy, he just shoots at you forever. Once he finally gets to you, that rocket just keeps shooting at you over and over and over and over again. There's really not very much you can do about it. I'm actually tempted. Now I'm tempted to grab a couple of tanks. I'm going to get one more infantry just so we can shield wall. Unless we can get a tank out there just to chip away at that rocket. Next turn we're not going to be able to do it. It'll be the turn after. Because if she's on any terrain other than the plains and the road, we're not going to be doing any damage to her. Although she's not going to have a huge amount of terrain to work with here, I don't think. I was lucky too. Well, here we go. She will go straight after our rocket. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. I put enough indirects there that she would likely not go for the damaged one, because I don't want to lose the unit for the technique score. I know, it doesn't really matter hugely, but might as well try. This medium tank's doing its best. It's doing what it can. That infantry is not going to quite make it, I don't think. No, it got so close too. So very close. But I'm wondering, is she going to attack my one hit point infantry? Yeah, she is, and she blocked my own city, so she can't capture it anyway. AI priorities. Okay. So, remember, air units don't get that bonus, so she just gets... That unit just gets the 10% bonus that everybody gets on their power. So that is negligible already. I'm annoyed that I didn't get the good luck roll on it, but what can you do? Beyond that, honestly, I'm just going to take it out with infantry. There we go. I just want the space. Get that space in there. Legitimately just going to put that there so the rocket has a possibility of firing on it because it's a low priority. These artillery are actually too far back now, as it happens. But let's keep chipping away at units. Can I? No, I still can't take that out. That's fine. Well, at this point, actually, a 3-hit point anti-air is probably more dangerous than even like a full hit point infantry, so I'm just going to fire on it even with its 6 terrain stars. It can't take the hit. That's perfectly fine. This guy should probably heal somewhere, but honestly, we're just going to join them together. It's fine. That's pretty much the motto of this mission. Just join everything together. It's fine. I don't want to move a unit here, though. I don't want to give him a free shot from the artillery for no reason. But I might let his rocket shoot this artillery. I think that'll be fine. I don't see any real major consequences from that happening. We'll take out the medium tank finally that's been around since pretty much day one, doing nothing. He lived a bland life. And then beyond that, gonna hide the infantry up front, put the tanks right next to it, get the anti-air over here, the artillery Honestly, can stay exactly where it is. It's fine where it is. I'm actually going to get... I'm going to get an APC and an anti-air. Just because I feel like that's what the AI would do. That's the only reason. It doesn't actually matter what we do at this point. We've got this sorted. This isn't a difficult mission, as you saw by the fact that doing nothing means you win. But even if you do this properly, this is not a very difficult mission. It's fun. It's different. It's the only mission that's like this in the game where you have to hang on against a much greater enemy. But it wasn't implemented very well, as we have seen. Really, the only question at this point is, do I want to go offensive and take out a couple of these units? I feel like it'd be more fun to do so, right? So yeah, I guess we will. Okay. This artillery will definitely take out that infantry. Getting a bit dry in the throat. Oh, well, it's better than having all the nosebleeds that you get this time. Well, at least I do. The joy of the Canadian winter, the dry air. How much do you do? 65%. That's not going to be enough combined with this 3 hit point artillery. Occasionally you forget just that Colin just can't quite do it sometimes. He gets really close, but not quite sometimes. Might as well take that out too. They're not going to get my beautiful textured city that honestly looks about as good as Pokemon Sword and Shield. How depressing is that? Not sure how they made such an ugly game. It was fun-ish, don't get me wrong. I'm not doing a Pokemon Sword and Shield review in this video, let me tell you, but I had fun moments with it. It felt very by the numbers. Speaking of which, they now have no numbers. See you later. I believe, yeah, even the anti-air furthest at the back can now reach this battlecopter, so bye. Toodles, as our opponent would say. Honestly, I should be able to run forwards and take this out with the infantry. It is pretty crazy that the AI plays this mission so badly that not only can you repel them, but you can actually start actively beating them. That's not meant to happen. There we go. Is it better to take that out? I'm going to say no, because I don't want to get shot by the artillery. I'm going to let the infantry take the shot from the artillery. We can even use our little power, get 10% more defense. And I don't think Lash will know what hit her. And let's just get a Neo tank for fun. That was very rude. This was also very rude. Sorry, anti-air. You will probably not be missed, let's be honest. I'm intrigued that she didn't even fire that rocket. The rocket there just didn't move. The AI just didn't know what to do and I guess just bugged out. That's funny. Anyway, let's clean this up just because we can. We've got about 35 minutes in. We'll have a nice 40-minute video. Beautiful. I am not insulted if you're the type of person that just listens to me in the background while you're doing other things, almost like a podcast. Because if you're anything like me, 90% of the time I watch YouTube, it's in the couple of hours before I fall asleep at bedtime, so it's just the way it is. So no, don't worry. If you're like me, I understand. If you are doing that, hopefully you have a good 8 hours. I know it does 0%, but I really want to kill this Neo tank with an infantry. Oh, not quite. Let's try it again. There we go. The joy of the luck roll. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Anyway, let's tidy this up. And I have to decide what game, and this will come out after the fact, so it's going to sound very weird. But at the time of this recording, so today is... For me, it's the 17th of January, so it's probably about a couple of weeks away from when this video comes up. At this point in time, my Humankind play has just finished, and I still don't know for sure what game I'm going to replace it with. If you have any ideas, by the way, always leave a comment. Whether it's something I will do or not, I will always, take the time to take a look. I will acknowledge if you, something to acknowledge. It's just how I am. If you spent the time to put the comment, I'm at least going to acknowledge that you made it, right? If it's something I can even remotely reply to. Yeah. Alright, so. I should have turned the visuals off for this last turn, but yeah, it's fine. We'll give her the moment. We had a moment ruining her day. I guess you can have a go at ruining mine in return. It's only fair. But yes, so after this mission, all we're going to have for Blue Moon is the factory mission. Because we've already done the lab mission. We actually did it pretty early on in this continent. It'll be a factory mission against Lash. You'll be unsurprised, given who we've been fighting this entire continent, pretty much. It's pretty fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably record in a couple of weeks' time. And this should be Grit interrupting. And with... Yep, there we go. Hey, son, are you okay? Time's up. Time's up. We were winning. We nearly got a perfect score, too. I am amazed. Amazed. But no, that was fun. That's how you meant to play it properly. Hopefully you enjoyed watching it the meme way. But yes, we only have one mission left in this continent. We'll do that next week. Appreciate your time as always. If you want to give it the old thumbs up, go for it. Otherwise, maybe join me on Facebook. We've got a group there. Otherwise, if you're too busy and you're having a sleep now and you're asleep and you can't hear me, hope you have a good sleep. Take care now. Thank you for watching the video.